Hey guys, it's Michael and welcome to Coastal Cruise Control. Today I want to talk about a cruise I took this past season to Alaska with Norwegian Cruise Line. And it was my first cruise with Norwegian. When I came back, I didn't do any videos. I didn't even talk about it. Now I know there have been some discussion here in the last few weeks about Norwegian, various situations. So I've kind of had a change of heart, and what I want to do is just kind of present the cruise and tell you what happened, let you decide for yourself what you think. But anyway, let's get into it, okay? All right, first of all, I flew to Seattle. Seattle's a beautiful city, a lot to see there, there really is. And I stayed at the Edgewater Hotel, which I will put a link up here and in the description as well. The Edgewater is on the water. It's on a pier, and it's right next to the port for Norwegian that I was going to be leaving on, going to Alaska. So it was very convenient. So the Edgewater was very nice. Okay, so this was my first cruise with Norwegian, so my assigned boarding time was 9:30 a.m. I kind of thought, wow, that's quite early. You know, I've never actually boarded that early, but whatever, okay. So, well, we got there. First of all, the line was, whoa, longer than any line I've ever seen to get in line to go on a cruise. And I've been on a bunch of them, but that's okay. Once it started moving, it did move pretty quickly. Okay, we got inside, went upstairs, got checked in. That process was very quick. But then they took us off to the side room. Oh my goodness. This room had so many people in it. We were just like jam-packed in there. Oh my gosh, hundreds and hundreds of people. We didn't even board the ship to almost noon. I'm like, why have people come in at 9:30 and then stick you, in this room? And the room, by the way, was like, it was just so hot and stuffy. It was like an incubator. I felt like I was in an incubator, honestly. You know, we've just come out of COVID, and I'm like, this is not good. This is definitely not. Have we not learned anything? The cruise line suffered a lot during COVID. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to get into that. So anyway, moving on. So we finally did set sail. Okay. So everything went good. People were friendly. The beautiful ship was the Norwegian Breakaway. And so we want to move, kind of quick here if we can. I don't want to, So our first stop was Juneau, Alaska. And I had bought or paid for an excursion there. And so several of us had. Well, when we got there and we were on time, I don't know who had planned this, but from the time we could get off the ship, I had 15 minutes to get to where I needed to be for my excursion. There was no way. It wasn't possible. Several other people had, talked about it too. So that money, I could have went down and said, hey, I didn't. I'll let it go, let it go, whatever. Okay. Moving along. Our second stop was Skagway. Skagway, Alaska is beautiful. There's a lot to see there. There has been, of course, the rock slide. It's still, still there. They have set up kind of like a tunnel that you walk through for safety, which I appreciate. The people were super friendly, lots to see there. Beautiful little town. Kind of remind me of the old 90s TV show Northern Exposure, if you ever watched it. Anyway, so I did the train ride there. That was amazing. It was my favorite stop, I'll just be honest. Everything went great. All right. Moving along, third stop is Glacier Bay. And I do believe Norwegian done a wonderful job with Glacier Bay. They really did. They had a park ranger come on and talk to us. He actually was going overhead the whole time, so it didn't matter where you were on the ship, inside or outside. Now, in your cabin, you wouldn't hear it, but any place else you could hear it. All kinds of details about Glacier Bay. Just some of the most beautiful sights. Now, this was, like I said, last season, which was May. It was like mid-May, I guess. And I know the season's coming up again, so I wanted to go ahead and get this out before, you know, before that started. But there was a lot to see there at Glacier Bay. You don't really get off the ship there. You're just passing through. And if you get a chance to see Glacier Bay, you may want to consider that on your cruise, because it really is beautiful. All right, our last stop was going to be, or was, Ketchikan. Okay, so I got up that morning, wasn't feeling really great. I thought, oh no. I've never gotten sick on a cruise ship, ever. But, well, you know, just me, you know, done a lot. Sometimes, you know, you can wear yourself out. So let's go. All right, so first of all, we weren't really in Ketchikan. We were in Ward Cove. So they bussed us to Ketchikan. Okay, no problem. Get on the bus. Here we go. No problem. It was about a 20-minute ride or so. Okay, the problem was when we got there, I don't know who organized this. It's like they'd never done it before. When we got there, I could see the line already stretched out. Oh, hundreds and hundreds of people in line, more so than what was there to board the ship to begin with. And this line was to go back to the ship. Well, it wasn't just our ship. We figured out. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I literally got off the bus, got in line to come back to the ship. I was gone like over 2 hours. Never seen anything in Ketchikan. I was lucky to make it back to the ship. I got back 20 minutes before we had to be on board to leave. No. There was other people, of course, scared. You know, it's like, oh, we're not going to make it back to the ship. What do we do? You know. And so, now, right before the ship left, they were still calling people's names that had not got back yet. And, you know, I don't know this for certain, but they called those names up until right at the time that we left. I have a very strong feeling that there were people left in Alaska. Again, I don't know that to be true, but it very much seemed that way. By then, that evening, I felt horrible. I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good. This is really not good. So I stayed in my cabin. I didn't do anything else. The next day was our 7th day, and we stopped there in British Victoria. I didn't get off the ship. We only had like 4 hours there. And to be honest, I'd kind of lost trust. You know, I just held out. So the next morning, of course, we returned to Seattle. When I got off the ship, I stayed in Seattle because I was sick. And I stayed until I no longer, after I got off the ship, I took my temperature. I did have a fever. It was not COVID. I've had COVID. This was worse. But anyway, checking on my app, and we had a little chat group going on. There was like 50-some people sick. So as soon as I felt like I could make it, I flew back home, went to the doctor, and of course I'd already taken a COVID test. I went to the doctor twice, actually. It was really bad. I just couldn't breathe. It was upper respiratory. I'm like, oh, this is just not good. Overall, Alaska is beautiful. Norwegian's ship was beautiful. People were friendly. I mean, on the ship, what I'm saying, the staff. Everyone in Alaska was amazing, friendly. So, in the end here, would I take that same cruise again? No. I'm just going to be honest. No. It was not worth it. It was just not worth it. You know, Norwegian, there may be a time that I would cruise Norwegian. I would think it would be maybe, you know, the Bahamas, well, maybe not the Bahamas, but the Caribbean's what I'm thinking. You know, someplace else, maybe, you know. It's not at the top of my list, though. I don't know, guys. You know, I don't want to sit here and down a cruise company. I'm just telling you what happened, you know. And it wasn't all bad. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't all bad. It was just, oh, yeah. When we were getting off the ship, that was just, I've never seen a perfect debarkation anyway. But, you know, and there's, you know, things are going to go wrong. It just happens. You know, you got to be ready for that. But there was just a lot that, and debarkation for that particular cruise was the worst I have ever experienced, honestly. But again, it wasn't all bad. And I did get to see Alaska. It was beautiful. You know, I want to go back. I probably will go with a different cruise line, though. Anyway, guys, just wanted to share, you know, my experience with you. And, you know, if you would, comment for me. Comment below. Let me know what you think about it. You know, was that, you know, how would you feel, you know? Anyway, again, my name is Michael. Let me invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. The channel is Coastal Cruise Control, and appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.